What's up, guys? It's your boys Awoki back out with another Nichol Kessinger Exposed. And I've been sent this by not just one, not two, but a whole bunch of you guys that have said this Nichol I can't talk today. Nichol Kessinger exposing the truth. Apparently there's more in here that I myself or you guys probably even know. And with that being said, I'm intrigued and I want to find out more. Now, a lot of you guys have been messaging me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, wanting me to look into the whole insurance stuff, which I have done a little bit. More lies, there's things that are popping up every single day with Nichol Kessinger, Chris Watts. It's getting ridiculous, and this rabbit hole keeps going deeper, 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 and deeper. I don't think there's an end to this rabbit hole. But we're going to be watching this YouTube channel called 50 States of Madness. Now, I'm not taking credit for this video. Again, I need to make that very clear. My disclaimer is that I'm only using this for educational purposes. We're looking into the possibilities of Nichol Kessinger being guilty, which I believe is 100%. But that is my opinion, my theory, my word. But everybody has a freedom of speech, so I'm just putting that out there. But again, I'm not taking credit for this 50 States of Madness video. We're looking into it. Apparently, it might be a podcast. I saw an image here briefly. Before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor, for one, go over to their channel, give them some love for putting this together for us to watch and learn more about Nichol Kessinger's involvement and more. But make sure you guys go over there, give them some love, watch their old stuff, watch their new stuff. They are a growing, small YouTube channel. We want to give them some love. So go over there, do the thing. And then also subscribe to my channel if you guys could do me that solid favor. We are rising to road 100K to be exact. And I can't do it without you guys. You guys are doing fantastic. You guys are blowing this channel up. And I can't thank you guys enough. So keep doing what you guys are doing. With that being said, let's get into the video.
Crime stories of deranged, unhinged, and absolute pure evil murders that will blow your mind.
State
Some
of Madness.
places we will visit to show you around
State
and
or
educate
states?
you on the
States.
history. Other times we will bring you to the paranormal because the dead never lie silent for too long.
Be the last time anybody sees us alive. I don't know where she has us, but we're gonna get fucking killed.
Hello? Gina, there is a beehive over there. Do you see that in the hole?
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Welcome to 50
buckling up.
States of Madness.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
This is a shoot the shit episode.
Yeah, so Shannon's going to shoot the shit with you guys. Basically, this is going to be a shoot the shit episode. And Shannon has gone down one of her wormholes again.
I do. I get down these rabbit holes because I'll start.
Oh, is it a wormhole or a rabbit hole?
I call it a rabbit hole, but it can be a wormhole.
Okay. She just
Could be
went
both.
down a hole.
Black hole. I don't know. Somebody's hole. I don't know. And so,
Reword that.
so
Not mine.
I went down Gina's hole. So, essentially, last week we did an episode on Chris Watts, and towards the end of it, we kind of brushed on the girl he was dating, Nichol, and kind of mentioning like, oh, how sad, kind of, being all wrapped up into this. But kind of we found a few weird things, how she like Googled Amber Fry, and did people hate Amber Fry? And we kind of like wondered where's she at now? Is she out, on under witness protection?
And we were kind of feeling sorry for her, thinking like, oh my God, people are going to hate her just like they hate Amber Fry. And, she had to go into witness protection because she was going to get all this hate and
death
threats and stuff. So
Feel sorry
what's
for
she
her.
doing? Like, poor thing. She ends up with this guy who's a big old liar and everything. Well,
She knew.
So I went down one of my rabbit holes.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I actually
ready.
found a video and some writings and some material that go over Nichol Kessinger, and it kind of dissects her
character.
What would it be? Yeah, and her what is
Roll.
that? I just went blank. That thing where you sit, her interrogation.
Oh,
Where you sit
I
with the
didn't know
police.
what you were talking about, clearly.
I know. Where she was sitting with the interrogators, and the fuck me
Excuse the
in my
French.
memory.
The detectives?
Thank you.
Okay.
Those people in uniform, you know what they're called.
Interrogators?
No, just kidding. So the detectives, and they analyzed her body language, the things she was saying, how her story was contradicting herself.
A lot.
Kind of went through and said, hey, is this girl somehow involved?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they went down their rabbit hole. But apparently this one guy, I got a lot of my information from a YouTube video called Behind Criminal Minds.
Beautiful video.
And he actually gets all the discovery material and all the documents and everything.
Which
and
we've
he
watched.
combs through them. He sits and watches her 7 hours of interrogation videos.
That's how long she was there.
And I'm telling you right now, I've watched a good amount of her interrogation videos. Her 3-hour one. I haven't watched the whole one of this. I'm getting ready to. I'm thinking about taking a Saturday off and just watching the whole thing. But like legit, it's completely BS. Like if you watched her mannerisms, her body language, she looks at the camera all the time. She's flirting with the interrogator, the police officers. It's completely a hogwash. Let's continue.
About 7 hours of interrogation videos, if I remember correctly. Who knows with my memory? And so
this one was a joke with her dad in there.
He basically starts tearing apart her story on what she knows, how much she knows, and how she's involved. She may or may not be involved.
Oh, she's involved.
Because from the outside, like, and like I told you in the beginning, I've followed this case, like, from the beginning. And
me too.
I've been very interested in it. And not one time have I ever heard the mention of her name besides them saying, like, this is the woman that he was having the affair with. That was it. Nothing else was brought to the table. Nothing else was mentioned of her at all. It's just kind of like, and she was the other woman, and that's it.
And it's funny how it's just because the video I came across was just posted 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, I see it because if you're really going to deep dive into it and you're going to look at all the evidence and you're going to look at all the material and you're going to put it together, I see how it took a while for them to, you know, get all the stuff together, gather it all together.
Yep.
And it also, when you first have a trial, everything's kept under wraps. I don't know how long it takes before they release that.
Yeah, I think
that's the thing is this didn't even go to trial. He was just, he claimed he was guilty. It went to sentencing, and that was it. He didn't even go to trial. He didn't go in front of a jury of peers, which is ridiculous.
The public.
Well, I mean, once he's convicted,
he should have got a
I would
death
think that
penalty.
all that would be.
That's just my take.
It would be out there. Yeah. I don't know, unless, you know, and sometimes it takes like so long for these things to actually go to trial, and you know, all of this stuff happen that it's so many years in between when the crime actually was committed and like the sentencing and all that, that I think people just kind of, God knows there's so much going on in the world. There's going to be another story that sucks you in, and then you just kind of forget about it, you know?
Well, just like today, we just had Maine with the shooting, you know, 20 people dead. Like, it's just, it's so sad and it's so horrible. And then now we have Israel, Gaza Strip, you know, it's just, it's really, really sad. So, and there's just so much news and all this stuff. So things do get pushed down or they get ignored. And so 2 months ago, the guy who does the Behind the Criminal Minds, and you think I'd have more information than just the guy. I'm really sorry, but I looked at that. I looked at some newspaper articles, some of the sources where he got his information from. But just to kind of put it together fast, that's why it's a shoot the shit episode. It's not a, oh, I'm going to read you all these facts. I'm just going to go like I went to Gina with all the excitement in my head.
Oh, yeah. You should have seen her. She was just like word vomiting everywhere. I'm like, slow down.
So that's sort of where I'm going to go today.
Because when she first came in and said her name,
she's
knew. Like, okay, Nichol Kessinger. And obviously, like we've said before, we're both always working on different cases. And then once we've recorded, it's kind of like on to the next. And so I knew that her name was like ringing a bell, but I'm like, okay, who is that?
Because she wasn't a murder victim.
And she was just
she's
like,
not a murderer.
Oh my God. She just went on and on with her story.
You might want to rephrase that one, girl.
I finally realized who she was. And then I was like, okay, I got you.
So Nichol was dating Chris Watts at the time that Shanae
Shanann.
Shanann.
Sorry,
Shanann.
Shanann. At the time that Shanann was, it's really hard for me because it's spelled like my name, Shannon almost. So I want to say Shannon all the time. So Shanann and the children, when they went missing, he was dating this one girl. And her story was that they just met. She was only working at the petroleum company that he worked
Anadarko.
for. They met on the job site. She was only there for 4 months at the most. So that would have placed her, because this was in August, so that would have placed her back in April of 2018, end of March,
But
beginning of April of 2018. She claims that that's the first time that they met. It took a couple months, but they didn't start dating, I believe, until June.
Yeah.
Right? Of 2018. July 4th and the 14th. Well, and this is where all my information in my brain comes out. So she claims that she never really went to his house. But then come to find out, in subsequent interviews, she slowly starts spilling the beans of certain things. Well, yeah, she went to the house on the 4th of July and the 14th of July when Shanann was visiting her parents in North Carolina.
For 5 weeks.
And with family in North Carolina. At one point, she even got in a fight with them because she was pissed. She went into this woman's house, saw the pictures of his wife and kids, and was pissed, stormed out of the house,
The audacity.
got into her car, and was throwing a temper tantrum because he had pictures of his wife and kids inside
their
their
home.
house. Okay.
And then she sits there and says, oh, I didn't know her name. I didn't know who she was. I never met the kids. This woman lied from back to front and front to back. Complete BS. And there's people that defend Nichol Kessinger.
I'm going to let you know a little bit of insight into this girl's brain a little bit.
I don't know if I want to.
She claims that she met him in April, but come to find out in some of the research that they've been doing
A year before.
that there's actually documentation that she was doing Google searches on.
And I do apologize for interrupting, but you guys did say that you don't want me to talk during the people talking. But that she Google searched a year before and said it was a typo. How the hell do you type Shanann Watts by accident? I understand there's, what they call it, predictive text and stuff like that. But you don't, like, you can't, like, predictive text Shanann Watts. I think that's a complete hogwash right there.
On Chris Watts and Shanann Watts all the way back to September of 2017.
Yeah.
So the district attorney who came out, who said that they're not investigating her. She's not a person of interest.
She originally came forward and spoke to investigators on her own volition. She was interviewed on multiple occasions. I believe that for the most part she was forthcoming in the course of those
To better her name. That's
we don't
why.
have any reason to believe that she had any prior knowledge or involvement in the death of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I think that's the best way I can answer that.
BS.
For them, they really just looking at Chris. He comes out and says, oh, well, that's a typo. How is that a typo in any type of documentation?
Yeah,
when
because
you're asking
that's
for
just about a year before she was murdered.
a year before she's murdered, and a good 8 months before her and Chris supposedly
Were dating.
Start dating.
were dating
Or even met.
Yeah.
People say it was
So
even sooner.
you start wondering, because you do wonder, like, he just met her in June.
And my first thing, like what I said to Shannon, was, why can't they just contact Anadarko, which is the petroleum company he worked for, and just say what was her hire date?
What was her?
That would have been a pretty simple thing to
Easy.
find out.
to fix, you know?
But she tells them in an interview she's only been there for 4 months.
Right.
Like, out of her mouth herself, she says, I've only been working there for about 4 months. So that puts her at the end of March, beginning of April. She has, so that's already established that. So you start thinking, because my initial thought on Chris Watts is he did all this for a relationship he was only in for a couple months.
That's
Yeah,
it
that
makes
was
no
like-
sense.
I mean,
Killed his wife.
yeah,
and
it's not
kids.
even like you cheated and you gave up your marriage for this, but you murdered your wife and your children for
In
this.
3 months.
For this woman that you only started dating in June.
That you only knew her
2 to
Since
3 months.
April.
since then.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It starts making you question some things. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and it did allow for these people who are going down the rabbit hole with me or before me, because I got my
Guilty.
information from them, but for them to start questioning, like, hey, what's going on here?
I'm thinking about this every
So
day, man.
in the interviews, you'll see Chris and her being interviewed at the same time in the
I wanted these two that interrogated Chris, to interrogate Nichol Kessinger. Where were they? They need to be interrogating him. Or the ones that interrogated him, they need to be interrogating Nichol.
station, but in separate rooms. So at the time, she has her father in there with her.
BS.
We don't know much about her family. We Google her family. It
Yeah.
says mother unknown, father's name only. I can't figure out what her father does. I tried to look it up.
He was a judge.
I can't. You're going to start looking. Yeah, try to see if you can find anything on the dad. All I can get is the name, and I always get mother unknown.
And spell her name for me, because she's changed the spelling of Nichol, correct?
She did. It's Nichol.
Okay.
And you do find out after a lot of digging that she does have a criminal past.
Very
So
big past.
And I'm saying criminal lightly. Okay, I'm going to well, she does have some things in her past that are actually documented, where she's gotten caught twice driving under the influence.
Stabbed
and
somebody in the back.
Nothing's been done. And that's their biggest thing, is that she's never being investigated. She's never been charged with anything. And they're saying during her interrogation, she actually went into the interrogation already a protected witness. Before they even eliminated her as a suspect,
What?
they brought her into questioning just hours after, they suspected, like, okay, he did something. They watched that video from the neighbor that we talked about last week. They have Chris in there, and they already brought her in as a protected witness without even talking to any other witnesses, without even eliminating her as a
Why?
suspect.
So this is what I found.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
His name is Dwayne.
Yes.
It says, while there's limited information about Nichol Kessinger's early life and background, her father's name is Dwayne Kessinger, born in 1988, Colorado, USA. Nichol attended Colorado State University, where she graduated in 2013 with a degree in geology. It's just basically...
But who is he?
Well, no, this is her. This isn't even
Yeah.
him.
What does he do?
The last known report, she worked with Anadarko Petroleum.
I heard he's a
Her
retired
father
police
is not
officer or judge.
mentioned.
There's no I can't find any information on him and what he does, because there's some speculation that he might have some ties into law enforcement, because she seems over a period of time to be getting off of different charges. So she had 2 charges in one county of driving under the influence. Both times, nothing happened to her, just kind of like a, don't do it again, with the promise of not doing it again. And then in a county over, that's when they found 2 more charges under a Nichol Lee Kessinger, but Nichol is spelled Nicole.
Right.
So, and once again, nothing was done.
So weird, dude.
Also, they have, and I'm going to read it verbatim, and unless you have it up, about when she was 16 years old.
Now I'm going down the rabbit hole on Reddit.
She stabbed somebody.
Reddit's a good one to go down the rabbit hole on. But I'll read this one, and then you tell us about our Reddit rabbit hole.
Okay.
So right here, when she was 16 years old, this guy who's doing Behind Criminal Minds got in touch with people who knew the family. And this is their story about what happened and how they know Nichol. My wife and I were close friends and family with her parents. Our children grew up with theirs. Nichol was always a problem child, and especially so when she was a teen. And this is what happened at the house. They said when they were on vacation, they had given instructions to somebody who was watching their home that Nichol under no circumstances was to be inside the home while they were away. My wife and Nichol's younger sister, who was staying with us, went by to get more clothing. My wife and her walked in on Nichol and a guy having oral sex on the couch in the family room. After doing her best to try to remove both of them to no avail, she called me. Long story short, a physical altercation occurred between the male and myself, in which during that altercation, she stabbed me in the back with the kitchen knife. So Nichol stabs this guy's wife in the back with the kitchen knife. And she was arrested and charged with the felony. However, the judge deferred her felony conviction if she can stay out of trouble.
For stabbing somebody. What happened to the lady, I wonder?
This incident divided both families, and we have not spoken since that last court appearance. This happened in 2004, 2005. They can't really remember exactly what year, but it happened in Aurora, Colorado. And they said, anyway, she's entirely capable of being involved in the murders. She's a narcissist and she's violent.
So this is Nichol Kessinger's father and business with Anna Darko. So somebody said, I'm curious about Nichol Kessinger's history working for her father and the nature of the business relationship with Anna Darko. Dwayne Kessinger's wife, Nichol Kessinger's stepmother, was once Chris Watts' boss at Anna Darko. So did her father work for them?
Is that how she got
it
the
said,
job?
do any of you know the background story? Correct me if I'm wrong, but based on what I read, her father owned the business conducting safety inspections and other services to Anna Darko. Nichol could therefore have been involved in delivering a training program, and she spotted Chris Watts while he attended one. It crush turned into an obsession that was fueled perhaps by her access to his personal records, periodic interactions through official work, and Shanann Watts' public social media posts. Because remember, we did talk about Shanann going live on Facebook and like kind of...
Her dad was the safety guy? What? I'm losing my mind here, guys. Holy crap. Holy mother of pearl.
Really putting a lot of her personal stuff out there. Nichol having family closely related to Anna Darko is mainly what I find strange about her evasiveness from speaking to the public and choosing to relocate and changing her name. Isn't the father still left behind, though, to face the backlash both from society and his employer, unless, of course, they were addressed internally?
But she was let go at Anna Darko.
We're wondering how she knew about them beforehand.
There you go. I didn't know that her dad was even connected to
either did I.
The business.
I didn't know that either.
What the frick?
So, as they're interviewing our Nichol, who's trying to pretend like she's so shocked and appalled that Chris could possibly have done anything to his family, and she has no idea, no clue. But we find out that before she goes in for the interview, she deletes all her text messages, all her pictures, anything on her phone related to Chris, everything. And then she proceeds to tell Chris to delete all his information on the phone.
Best friend.
And then she goes and tells her best friend to delete everything on her best friend's phone that has anything.
Because she said, oh, I couldn't deal with the fact that he had possibly done something with his kids and his wife, and I just didn't want that in my life. But yet she did it. She told Chris to do it. She told her friend to do it. That completely makes no sense that she did it because she didn't want anything to do with Chris. Yet she deleted hers. She deleted hers after I found this out. She told her friend and Chris first to delete their stuff, and then she proceeded to do hers. She was last to delete her stuff. So she didn't do it because she didn't want Chris in her life anymore. She didn't want that negativity bull crap.
To do with pictures or anything related to her and Chris.
That's shady.
Thank you. But my question is, so if she deletes it, who cares? Because you can get deleted photos and texts.
Not all the time.
If you really want to.
Yeah.
So the detectives on this case, they ask, they proceed to ask Verizon for some of this information, but they are also asking her at the same time, is there any other way that you communicated with Chris?
Skype.
Via, Skype, WhatsApp, Snapchat. Any other way did you guys
Zoom
communicate?
calls?
Nope, absolutely not. No other way. We've only done it through text messages. Well, then, following interviews, she starts, people can't help but talk. She starts spilling the beans. She lies so much she can't keep track of her lies. She starts contradicting herself in her stories.
Yep.
And you really have to watch her interviews. But she starts contradicting herself. And then as she lets it slip in one interview that she did communicate with them through Skype. She says, and I think that
later
was
on
when
it
I
was
was just like,
Zoom.
okay, I'm creeped out. And then like Tuesday, nothing got better. And then I found
And
out he was lying
Snapchat.
to me. And I was already kind of creeped out from the night before. And I was like, okay, And I didn't even realize it until you guys were like, try to just think back on some of that. And then last night I was just like thinking about all those phone conversations that we had on Monday night. And I'm like, you know what? Those were really uncomfortable. In fact, they were so uncomfortable, I ended the Skype conversation. And that's when she throws out that the Skype conversation. But instead of the cop saying, hold up, wait a second.
Yeah.
Let's pull those records.
They're like, okay.
Yes, thank you. Or wait a second. In our previous interview, you said you never spoke to him. Calling her out on her lies, they ignore them.
Exactly.
It is the most bizarre thing. But yet, there's other people coming in as witnesses, and if they barely even bend on one of their facts or something, they jump all over it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, wait a second, you said this over here. Why are you saying this now?
Right.
But with her, they let it go.
And that's why people are believing that she had some type of voodoo witchcrafty thing that she was doing to Chris and doing to the police officers, which we can't say for 100% certainty, but this is so weird.
In fact, some of the detectives fed her what she was saying.
Yes.
And then, so Tuesday, after that conversation, I told him, I told him to delete his text, because I knew he was, going crazy texting me.
What did that cause you to do with your phone, though?
Oh, what, when I deleted those? I was just kind of grossed out by him, to be honest with you. I was just like, I don't know what's going on right now, but you just lied to me, and I don't want to see this come over my phone anymore. So I removed it.
The information was not destroyed because there was anything in there that would be harmful to you or potentially to Chris at this point, but harmful to you in particular. That's not why you did it.
No.
Yeah.
So when she deleted all her messages, he said, well, you didn't delete it because you didn't want us to see something. You did it because of the, leading her to tell a different story.
Right.
And then she actually also tried to destroy her SIM card, which she was unsuccessful. They actually did get some things off of it, but that, for a person to delete and destroy, is not somebody that is innocent, okay?
She's like, oh yeah, no, I didn't.
So all she had to do was say, She just had to agree.
And she
She just
just
had to
No
agree.
explanation.
spit out a
necessary.
whole bunch of
Instead of
BS.
probing further as to why she would delete these messages, they were feeding her the excuses as to why she deleted the messages. It is bizarre. It seems like it's such a huge cover up.
I mean,
And I don't know why. I can't figure out why.
I don't know. And in that Reddit post, you could go down that whole list of things, and there's a lot of people in there that think that she is not guilty.
How?
There are some people that think that she is guilty, but just from the stuff that you have told me and the little bit of stuff that I have read, I mean, you really can't say guilty, but from the information,
She's guilty of a lot of stuff.
it raises a lot of suspicion
So much so that why wasn't she looked
because
into?
she lied.
That's what it is. But it's enough to look into her, and they just drop it.
And they did.
And the district attorney,
That's what bugs me so much.
I believe his last name is Rorick. He comes out to actually address it and just basically says, look, Chris admitted to the guilt.
We're done.
Therefore, there's no reason to look into her, and we believe that there's no reason
And
to.
they're
She's
saying
innocent.
that Chris pleaded guilty right away because he didn't want her to take the rap for it, right?
That's what they're leading to.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I don't want to say everybody in the police force there was corrupt, because there was actually I don't know if it was a detective, an investigator, somebody who was on the police force that was calling bullshit on her interviews and said, wait a second,
Yeah.
There's a lot of contradiction here. There's all this stuff going on that we're questioning. So, and I'll list some of the things. I have them written down. There's just so many. I just don't even know where to begin. But he says, hold up a second. So he does this whole report. So as Chris is going into court, this guy's putting together a report saying, hey, there's a reason why we need to be looking at Nichol. Like, there's all these inconsistencies in her story. This is what I have. This is why I think we need to look at her. This is what I'm pulling up. This investigator's actually the one, getting the Verizon records and requesting all this stuff. The only thing that they don't understand that they're not getting is like the exact location for GPS, because you can actually ping where people were at, right?
Which she pinged that morning in Frederick, Colorado.
On her computer where she's Googling, like the Google Earth of the location of the bodies before they were even discovered.
Well, and what did you tell me, that she has like a selfie or she has a picture?
Yes. So what happened was she's telling the detective the story, and slowly things are coming out. Interview after interview, she's slowly releasing a little bit of information at a time. And so in one interview, she's explaining to them that she was really, really mad at him. That's why she deleted everything from there. And that's why she wanted him to delete everything about her. This is the reason why, because she was just so mad at him, because she can't believe that he wasn't more concerned about his kids. And I do have to tell you that she didn't start giving them information, because when she first started feeding them information, she just kind of fed them, yeah, we're kind of dating. Yeah, we really don't go in public much. Yeah, we haven't really had any dates. We don't really go out anywhere.
All the pictures were stored on a calculator-looking app where you could actually make it look like a calculator, but you go into it, it's got tons of pictures of them, inappropriate pictures.
Just been to the Lazy Dog maybe one time. But then when the police started saying, hey, we're going to need your phone records. Oh, well, maybe this is when things started coming out more and more, when she realized, like, okay, they're going to be looking
they're going to
at
find
phone
everything.
records.
Yeah.
And they're going to see that I do see him more. So she ends up saying that Sunday night that she actually was on the phone with them for 2 hours.
Doesn't remember it.
Wait, was like the morning?
Sunday to Monday.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
She was on that Sunday night. She says that he drove to the oil battery known as Survey 319 in Rogan, Colorado. He mentioned
they think that he dug the hole that night before Shanann even came, because it was premeditated, is what they're speculating now, that he dug the hole, so when he brought her out there, it was already done. But I don't know how accurate that is.
Like, oh, I have to go out to Survey 319.
And what is that? Like an area?
It's an area, location, where they keep these oil bins, right?
Containers.
In that conversation, he told me, I have to go straight to the field tomorrow. And he was like, I'm not going to go see you in the morning. And I was just like, all right. And I was like, why? And just like, I got to go. He's like, I got to go check out a site. And a release in the morning, and a release is like when the oil industry has like a release of any type of oil products. And they said this was very common of her to talk in circles and to keep repeating herself.
That sounds like I can't even follow what she's saying.
It makes no sense.
Because she's trying to distract them, because they would ask her like a question and she'd try to kind of talk in a circle and kind of distract them from things.
So what I got from that is that he went to go see her every morning before work.
It sounds like he would. And so this time he's telling her, like, I'm not going to go see you. I can't see you tomorrow morning. I'm going straight to the field tomorrow. And she was like, why? And he says, I have to go check the equipment. And I remember asking him, well, why would you have to go check out the release? You're not part of the environmental team. And so she says, oh, why do you need to go out there for? Like, she's playing like she's stupid. Like, I didn't know why he needed to go out there. And he was telling me that he needed to go out there.
Playing
dumb. And I didn't understand why. And she's trying to make it seem like, not that she was worried about the family, that she was like, more like, who you're going to go see out there. Why do you have to go out there?
Right.
And he's like, well, I just need to go out there. And she goes, well, take a picture for me. So this is going to be her reason if they find the photo of the location where they are buried. And this is the location where they found the bodies.
And she has that in her phone.
So you're going to tell me you did not know?
And she deleted
that
it?
this was going on. There's also this guy named David who was in the Colorado Correctional Facility with Chris. So David had said that Chris had told him, if I had not met Nikki, I would never have ended my family. And according to David Carter, Chris and Nichol were actually back in communication, and she was writing to him under a different name while he was in prison. And once the correctional facility became aware of the communication, they suspended his email account, since you're not allowed to have communication,
Yeah, of course.
with each other. David Carter went on to say that Chris had told him that Nichol was responsible for killing his daughters since he did not have the stomach to kill them.
So
she's the one that did it.
Or
according to him, he's saying that Chris told him that she's the one who actually killed his daughters because he didn't have the stomach to do it. But that kind of contradicts what he wrote to a pen pal.
Mm-hmm.
That made a book.
He thought he had killed his daughters first before he went in to kill Shanann. And he writes to her in these pen pal letters back and forth that she eventually puts into a book. And he writes that he attempted to take his kids' lives first before Shanann's life. He realized the children were still alive when they woke back up. He also confesses to slipping his wife oxycodone weeks before her death, hoping that she would lose the baby, since Nichol wanted to be the one to give him a son first. Nichol told him after a couple weeks of dating that she wanted to give him his son.
Well, wasn't she Googling wedding dresses
Yep,
like
for
2 weeks
2
after
hours.
they had their first date or something like that?
For 2 hours. But she says, oh, no, we barely saw each other. They also mentioned that she spent hours searching Google for information on Chris, Shanann, and the kids. And she also tried to destroy her SIM card on her phone.
Mm-hmm.
She searched Google Images, like I said, with the Google Earth.
Before they were found.
She knew the gravity of the situation and chose to delete everything. And they were mentioning, like, any other person that would do this, it would be considered obstruction of justice and destruction of evidence.
Oh, my God.
And 10 to 15 years
But
of
yet,
imprisonment.
nothing was done.
I just don't
Look at
understand.
this. So this one is a class 6. So I did see that there was other classes punishable by up to 18 months, or there was a couple other ones that was there, but it could lead up to almost 10 to 15 years of imprisonment for each count. She has how many counts? And nothing was done.
And because with today's technology, that stuff, like, it doesn't matter what you delete. Nothing is ever deleted 100%. Like, nothing.
It never goes away.
It never goes away.
Yeah.
So just know that every picture that you take, everything you post on social media, it doesn't
It's
matter if
there,
it's deleted
pretty
from
much
your
for life.
phone, from your cloud, from your whatever you want to delete it from, it's still there. And they have access to that.
Absolutely.
So,
they-
I mean,
It's crazy because they were saying that even during this whole time where he's in the middle of confessing, because what happened when this guy put together this huge report, because I'm going to go back to that because I think I lost track of that. So when the guy put together this huge report, he had to submit it, as evidence, right? Like, these are all the contradictions that she's saying in her interviews. This is where, where we need to look at her. And so what happened was they have to make triplicate, they were saying, of it. So one has to be given to the judge, one has to be to the county recorder, and then one to the defense team. Well, when the defense team got it, they said that they showed it to Chris and all the evidence they had against Nichol. And that's when a week later, when he showed back up into court, instead of pleading not guilty, he copped a plea.
What?
So they wouldn't look into her. So as soon as he copped the plea deal, they stopped all investigation. They didn't have to look into Nichol. They just dropped everything. And
why did they show him?
That was it.
So what is their theory? Are they saying, is there a theory? Like, are they saying that
there's a lot of theories.
She murdered them, or this
At
was like
least
her idea, or
at the very minimum, she had knowledge of it. At the very minimum. At the maximum, that she actually
did
was a participant
like
in
that
it and
theory
the
that they're
after.
doing.
I just want to know, what kind of hold could this woman have over him that would force him to take a plea deal, plead guilty, spend the rest of his life in prison
For her.
for her?
I have
where
no
the-
idea.
that's
That's
where the
why
magic
I
comes into it.
question.
And
they
kill
had to have known
your
each
wife
other
and your
longer.
children, or allow someone else to do that, or however it went down.
It makes no sense.
But now your wife, your children are dead, and you're in prison for the rest of your life.
One theory was that he saw her in the way of his happiness. Like he saw
Shanann?
Shanann in the kids and the family in the way of being happy with Nichol. I don't know what would.
But then apparently in his jail cell, as of right now, he has Shanann and his girls' pictures up there reminiscing about the good times. Really?
I mean, my theory is he knew her way longer than we all know. Is not just a few months, like Nichol stated.
Okay,
Like
but
you
let's
said, but
just
I do
even
think she did
say,
stalk and research him.
yeah. So let's even say that they knew each other a year or two.
It would make more sense then.
Where does it come in that, like, okay, you're worth killing my family for, and then I'm gonna go to prison, and then what do we do from there? It's not like we can go run away and have this wonderful life together.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know what the thought was behind it.
I'm so confused.
That's where other people speculate that because of Nichol Atkinson, which is Shanann's best friend, she went to go talk to Shanann but couldn't find Shanann. So she had foiled the finishing plans of what Chris and Nichol were going to do, which is apparently another theory, is he was either going to blow up the Anadarko oil site and make it look like an accident. And that's why he put the girls inside the oil, because when the oil explodes, nothing was going to be found. Everything was going to be gone. Everything was going to be pulverized. But Nichol Atkinson got to him first. His plans were foiled. He thought he could get, like, completely take away everything and then be like, oh, they were gone. Somebody took them, and then run off with Nichol with the insurance money, which was like $600,000 or something like that, which is ridiculous. That's another theory. Not mine, but another theory.
By it all.
I can't even wrap my head around it either with him. If he did it solo and she had no.
He didn't.
What did she get out of it? She's in the
just-
witness protection program, and he's in prison.
Yeah.
And
And
Shanann and the
So we don't know for sure if she's in the witness protection program. So if she's in a witness protection program, she's in her own, where she completely changed her name, she completely changed her hair, whatever have you. But the documents that I can look into, the government or the police force or whatever have you did not throw her into the witness protection program. But that's what I'm believing. I haven't found anything. A lot of thousands of other people haven't found anything. I mean, maybe because it's what witness protection program, but then they talk about a safe house where she had a safe house, and Chris knew where this was. If you guys want me to touch base on that safe house, we don't know where it's at, but we know that they had one where they were going to live their lives afterwards. But if you guys want me to touch base on that safe house, let me know in the comments.
kids are dead. So who won here? Like, what? I don't understand.
Nichol.
Like, nobody came out on top.
I just don't think there was any thought process after the fact. Like, it was just sort of like,
Nichol is on
this
top.
is in the way of us getting married.
I mean, obviously, and this kind of thing happens a lot where you have these people that, you know, find somebody else and, oh, you know, like, we're just gonna, like, again,
Run
the
away.
Scott and Lacey Peterson thing, however, like, yeah, we're just gonna kill my wife off or kill my husband off and we can run away and have this wonderful life together.
Just do divorce.
In what fantasy world does that happen?
Yeah, it never ends well.
It
doesn't.
doesn't.
And it's funny that you do bring up Amber Fry, because we know that she did do some searches on it. So she did want to know how much money Amber Fry made on her
so
book
she
deals.
can make money off of
So
it.
she Googled that. And I was saying, instead of during the time that he was being prosecuted and going to jail, and there was like all these articles even on her and what her involvement was, instead of going and clicking on those on her Google searches, she would click on how much Amber Fry made. Did everybody hate Amber Fry afterwards? things like that.
Yeah.
Like, she was more concerned with how what will become of her
Of me
after the fact.
Yeah. How much money, you know,
Am
how
I gonna
lucrative
be-
is this? Am I going to make money? Am I going to be
And then Cindy and Ron, which is Chris's parents, thought they were going to get money for the death of the girls. Are you kidding me?
become famous?
Narcissist,
Mhm.
spot on. Like,
Mhm.
me. I'm
Mhm.
focused on what's going to happen to me. So some of her web searches before the actual event,
Married
like
a
so on July
mistress.
24, 2018, because she claimed she didn't know. She thought he was already going through divorce. That
No.
their marriage was already
Right.
over.
Yeah. He claimed that when they started dating, he had told her.
Which there's nothing on Facebook that would show that they were going through a divorce or any separation. They kind of kept they were having a little time apart where Shanann went down to her parents for 5 weeks, and they didn't say anything about a divorce. They didn't say they were separating or seeing other people. They just said nothing. I think it was like 2 or 3 days before the murders took place. Shanann put a post up there saying everything good about Chris, saying he's her rock. If it wasn't for Chris, she would not be where she's at. She loves Chris. She's happy with Chris. That's complete. And then I guarantee that just fueled the fire for Nichol, and she was still pissed off and upset.
The divorce process was just about done.
Was done.
Yeah.
That she had no idea.
Didn't
But then
start.
on July 24th, she Google searches, "Man, I'm having an affair with, says he will leave his wife." That's one of her Google searches. So Nichol says that the day his family went missing, that Chris called her and told her that his wife was gone and he did not know where she was. Nichol says, "I wasn't worried at all. I wasn't concerned
'Cause
because
she
I have
knew.
friends who will go off the radar 1 or 2 days and then, they'll show back up." So I was not alarmed that she was missing on the 13th.
It's not your wife.
The whole family.
Yeah, but she wasn't alarmed, because it's all about her, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't alarmed. Next day when they were interviewing her, she says, 13 minutes into the conversation, she said that when she talked to Chris that night, she told Chris Watts she was scared. And she was telling him, "I can't believe you can sleep. All the phone calls at the end of the night, she is freaking out. Please talk to me. I'm super scared. Where is your family?" Trying to get him to talk to her, making sure everything's okay. She could not sleep. She did sporadic
It's not
calls
her
throughout the night.
family.
She's
She don't
trying
care.
to let them know. This is why I called him so many times that night that she went missing. Because I'm
Because
worried
he's nervous. She's nervous. Yeah.
about what he's going to say.
Yeah.
The question is, why are you scared?
Why?
Yeah.
Why are you so scared?
Yeah.
If you had
no
nothing
reason.
to do, but the conversation just before, you're saying, in the first interview, you're saying, "Oh, I wasn't worried."
Yeah.
And
It happens all the time.
Happens all the time. People, they show back up. He was saying that she was mad at him. She took the kids. They were going through divorce. Well, because they had told her, "We're going to get your phone records." So now they're going to see all the times she
she's
called.
freaking
Yeah,
out.
of course.
Well, then something comes up on her GPS when they got the records.
She was in Frederick.
At 6, I want to give you the
Colorado.
exact time. I believe it's 6:16 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
that morning.
Mm-hmm.
Which Betty, the next door neighbor, said she saw her truck the night before and the morning of at the house. Things are tying together 100%. Everything is unfolding, and it's not good for Nichol.
With the truck and everything.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Her location is pinged near their home,
And they say
near
that.
Chris Watts' home.
Yeah, and they say that he woke up between like 5 and 5:30 that morning. Right?
And he backed the truck
And
up.
backed the truck up, and then
Yeah.
what we now know loaded the bodies into the truck.
And it says on August 13th at 6:16 a.m., she was near Frederick, Colorado. And they said it's near his home. They can get the exact locations, but yet
But they won't.
investigators did not ask Verizon for the exact location, but they got the ones that's kind of like kind
Yeah,
of
it's
an
just like in the
area.
general vicinity, of course.
But that's what they're saying. They're saying even though you can't prove that she was there. You can't disprove she wasn't there.
Exactly. But what do you do? First of all, I'm up and driving at that hour because I work very early in the morning. If I don't have to work, I am not up on the road. What is she doing up and driving at that hour?
At 16 a.m., yeah. It wasn't, she was said, and then she does say she was at work that day.
She clocked out.
And they never ask to produce because it's so easy to verify it.
Yeah.
And every job has cameras. Do not tell me no job has cameras because you want to protect your business. So why didn't they video look at the company of her coming in, what time she did, what time she left, what time she clocked in? None of that was done. Ridiculous.
Her time card.
Oh yeah,
Oh, no,
exactly.
She says that she clocked out at 5.
What time did you get there?
What time did you clock in? What time did you
Nothing.
get to work that day?
Because if you're driving around at 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
would you be driving to work?
Where are you at?
So where's your time card?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they have cameras on that, you know.
See? They even said too.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm glad you brought up the cameras because they did say, it says Anadarko has approximately 400 cameras in service, of which approximately 200 are located in the parking lot and vicinity immediately around Anadarko's Platteville office. The remaining cameras are in place at major batteries. Anadarko has had issues with individuals entering oil production sites and committing lewd and or destructive acts. So Anadarko placed a small number of game cameras at some sites, perhaps 5 to 10. So there's a lot of cameras.
So where's the cameras?
How could they not have caught what time she came to work?
Look,
no, they
look,
could.
Look, the building has one right there. And you're telling me we've seen nothing?
There are so many cameras that they can easily pull up those cameras and that footage to see when she arrived and left. Just the investigators were like,
Very simple.
They don't need to because there's no reason to
Ridiculous.
at this point.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. But, according to District Attorney Michael Rourke, stating, I have absolutely no reason to investigate Nichol Kessinger now. This is not a witch hunt. They were
It needs to
confident
be.
in Chris being, he admitted it.
What is making him protect her so much?
It boggles my mind. And why wouldn't they want to get everyone involved
Exactly.
in any other murder investigation and you want to get everybody just because one person admits it. So you're going to say, we do these all the time.
Yeah.
And we watch, I watch footage of interview footages. I see things, when teenagers admit they've committed murder or whatever. They're never just like, oh, the first person admitted it. Okay, let the other 3 go.
Yeah, it never happens. They take statements from everybody. Does not matter. Like, it's just.
And you're telling me for the people that believe
I'm very
her,
confused as to
that she's innocent?
Why he is protecting her so much.
And if people are lying, they're called out on it all the time.
Well, yeah, and it's very and these things are like easily done. Tracking, your phone record, your location, your text messages, like
you can find it anywhere.
Everything.
They also show that records show she spoke to Chris on Monday night for over 2 hours. So after the fact too, so I must have gotten it. It wasn't that Sunday night when the kids went. It was
so it was the following
day when they were missing. That's probably what I meant to say because she kept saying like, oh, I'm so scared, I'm so this, right? How can you sleep? Your family's missing. So
I would also be very, very curious to see what the conversation looked like between, you say that her and that she had one of her best friend or something delete text message conversations.
Yes.
What did those conversations look like?
Hold on a second. So after she asked her friend Charlotte to delete all the messages, so Charlotte calls the agent back and she says, hi,
Charlotte
Agent
Nelson.
Galbraith. This is Charlotte Nelson. I'm looking through my phone and the latest text messages I have from Nikki start on August 21st. So days after. And they're best friends. How can the latest text,
Yeah.
And we mostly talk about my dad passing away and my family issues and also that she's concerned with the media. I probably deleted the whole conversation when Nikki asked me to delete pictures we have together on Facebook because the media was calling her friends to get information.
Oh, okay.
I know about the text messages we talked about because yesterday evening I got your voicemail, and when Nikki came over later that night, I told her you had called and that I wanted to verify that it was actually the CBI calling me and not a scammer trying to get information. I asked her, why would you be calling me? And she said it could be because of the texts we exchanged, and then she showed me. I'm sorry I don't have any messages before that. How do you not have messages from your... I have messages between me and you from probably, maybe I do clean up every once in a while, but like at least a good 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. Same.
Would you like me to still send you everything starting August 21st?
Wow.
Also, I left you a voicemail regarding a question I have. My question is if that text messages you have are going to be made public matter. I shared very personal information about mine and my boyfriend's intimate life, and I'm concerned about what will be released.
Who
Please
cares?
let me know or call me for any more questions.
First of all, why would they release anything to do with you and your boyfriend?
Yeah,
They
they would
wouldn't.
cover
In
it.
any matter.
It has
Doesn't
nothing to
matter.
do
It has
with you
nothing
guys.
to do with you or your boyfriend. So why are you even asking that?
It's
And
getting
you deleted everything prior to
the 21st.
August 21st.
What a coinky dink.
So all the days that
Yeah,
they
just
were
gone.
missing, before they were missing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's very, very, very suspicious. So and more is probably going to be coming out, and I don't even want to say coming out. It's just that I will probably learn more. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm learning
'cause
stuff
I
every
feel
day.
like at this point,
it's out there.
Chris Watts is in jail.
Yeah.
He's, I don't think, gonna go anywhere.
He's not
Yeah,
going. He's
probably
trying,
there
but he's staying there forever.
for good. And this is just a fascinating story to follow, especially because I feel like I've followed this story from the get-go, and then all of this to come up and had no idea about any of this.
I really like these ladies.
I was just, honestly, when we recorded, I was just like, oh my God, like, poor girl, like,
Now they're
here
not
he was
thinking-
lying to her, telling her my divorce is, almost done.
She's
we can
being
move on,
strung
blah, blah, blah.
along.
And, then this guy ends up being a psycho. He ends up killing his wife, killing his kids, the whole thing. Like,
Now I'm going to have to go into hiding.
and now I'm going to have to be in the witness protection program and change my name. I can't. And what do we even say? Like, oh my God, you go into the witness protection program. That means that you can't talk to your friends anymore. You can't talk to your family anymore. You can't talk to anybody. Like,
We
you
were
literally,
concerned
we were
for
concerned
her.
for her when I was like,
That's what she
generally
wanted people
concerned
to
for this
believe.
girl. Like, oh my God, like, she's got to find a whole new group of friends. She has to find like all new people, and she has to pretend that she is somebody else. She has to take on a new name. Everything.
And we didn't even know she already changed her name several times. Like, she's already, it's an old hat for her. She's
Wow.
over here
Yeah.
stabbing old people. Like,
Yeah, she's got it. She's
since
got it
she was
down.
She's gonna do this
16,
again.
She's,
Yeah.
been getting in trouble, and she's been known as a troublemaker. But why is she so protected? That is the strangest
it's-
thing. I just can't
yeah,
figure out why she's so
it's,
protected.
Probably because of her family.
Yeah, there's got to be.
We're going to find out she's like some, I don't know, president's love child or something. No, just kidding. Like, like,
She's got to
how-
be connected to somebody.
Important.
How is she so
Somebody,
protected?
but yeah, I don't know. She's got to be connected to somebody
not
to
even-
have this kind of,
To not even be looked into, like, hey, Chris admitted it.
That's
okay,
where people think the
we're washing
witchcraft
our hands
comes
of it.
into
That's
it.
yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
and where is she at that nobody's seeing her? Like, have there been any sightings of her anywhere?
Here
or,
and there.
But I
The
mean, I
only-
guess she could cut her hair or grow it long and change the color. And
The only
I
thing
guess
that we
it's-
know is that she got a hold of Chris while he was in jail with a different name.
yeah,
I mean,
People say that
that's
she only
according to
lives
one
like
person.
20
But at
miles
this
away
point,
from her
like-
old place.
how many names does this girl have?
Yeah, I don't know, but hopefully it all makes sense to you. I know it was a lot of information that I
They did
kind
a
of
good
vomited
job.
out.
Bravo.
It's just so much stuff is in my head, and to
There's things
let
I
you
didn't
know
know, I
about
can
it
tell
and
you
try to
that.
put it in some sort of order on how it happened.
Yeah,
But definitely put your thoughts in the comment
Yeah,
section.
I would be really, really curious if anybody who followed the Chris Watts story, because I feel like if you're listening to our channel or any of the true crime
I want
episodes,
to talk to these
that
ladies.
you have to
very
be familiar
much.
with the Chris Watts case.
Yeah, some
So
knowledge.
I'm really curious if there's anybody out there that was aware of this whole, thing that's been going on with Nicole. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
So yeah,
please
let
leave
us
your
know.
comments and let us know what you think. Even
Yeah.
like, what do you think happened, or
Yeah, and
why
definitely-
she's so protected and why he's protecting her.
Yeah, check out Behind Criminal Minds, the podcast. They actually came out with the second episode on it, where it's exposing Nichol Kessinger's web of lies, part 2.
Maybe we can link those in the show
Yeah,
notes.
absolutely.
We can link those videos.
And just check it out and see what you make of it, and see if it makes sense to you, like it made sense to me.
It
like
makes
you know,
so much
start
sense.
questioning,
We've been saying this
her
for
intentions
months now.
and you
Right.
know where
Years.
it's all coming from. So
Yeah.
yeah, but thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us for another week.
Yeah.
Thank you to our Patreons. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, we're at patreon.com/50 States of Madness. We're at TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everything at 50 States of Madness. We're on all podcast platforms. And our merch store, if you would like to grab some merch.
Well, with that being said, go check them out. I definitely would love to speak to these ladies. Maybe if the ladies are watching this, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you more about this. Again, there's a lot of things I know when it comes to what they have said, but there's things I didn't know, like Dwayne Kessinger, like his involvement in Anna Darko, and more stuff that people are finding out that this is not Nicole's first rodeo. She's done this like once, twice, if not 3 times already. When is it going to be enough to put this woman away? Again, there's so many. They even showed the evidence, like I did, that it's a felony class 6 that you can do up to 18 months or on each count. And there was like how many different counts where she could do up to 10 to 15 years. Why is she not? Why is she so protected? What is going on with this? Is it because of the whole witchcraft and she's messing with crystals and not to put in any damper or any negative things towards the people that use crystals for good, but things are just not adding up, and we keep going this over and over and over and over and over, and people still believe that Nicole is 100% innocent. Like they even said that we know she knew about it 100%. Do we know that she was physical with them? We don't. But again, like they said, none of the police officers did any powder or like the CSI stuff for fingerprints. There's cameras. 400 cameras, and they're all on different locations. There's at least 5. Where is that evidence? Where is the video camera at Anna Darko of her clocking in and all this? It doesn't make sense. And you're telling me that she was not there, but little snippets of little evidence shows up here and there that she could have 100% have helped? I don't know. For those that are joining me for the first time and are coming in here and watching my videos for the first time, please comment down below what you guys' thoughts are. If you guys are friends of 50 Shades, or not 50 Shades, 50 States of Madness, I would love to reach out to them. Maybe I'm going to reach out to them on Instagram and see if they would like to do a collaboration piece where we talk about this and so forth like that. So I would definitely love to talk more about this as a secondary kind of exposing the truth of Nichol Kessinger. I know that you guys there's some people that are like, oh, here we go again with the Chris Watts and Nichol It's a winding rabbit hole. We are not finding the bottom anytime soon. I'm obsessed with this case. I want things to be finally justified, and I don't feel that we're completely justified. Like they said, they literally got Chris and we're like, yep, we're done. Throw it away. We don't need to interrogate Nichol Kessinger. Now we're finding out that Chris got his eyes on it first when he shouldn't have ever, and then he pleaded guilty. But why? Why would he throw his life away for her? She's not the Queen of England. She doesn't have millions of money. Why? People are insinuating that could be because of the insurance money. They thought they were going to get away with it, but Nicole Atkinson got ahead of the schedule or ahead of the time and foiled their whole plan, and they couldn't run off together. Now that's a whole, it's a winding staircase that has crumbled and fallen, and we are just falling to the depths, and there's no bottom. So please comment your guys' thoughts down below. Don't forget to subscribe on both channels. Let's get them to 1,000 subscribers. I mean, come on, guys. They're at 685. Let's get them to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this, give them some love. Give me some love by subscribing. We're trying to get to 100K. Don't forget to like the video for trying to get Nichol locked up. And then we will see you guys in the next video. So please take care. Keep it real. Keep it safe. And as always, keep nerding on. And we will see you guys next time.